Well, good morning, YTPC, and also Rumble. Welcome to the Bass Piper channel. Hey guys, I just want to get on here a second and just share some thoughts about as you know, I've been doing my cigar journey for the last, well, really, next month will be a year. And I'm just trying different cigars and things of that nature. And of course, I smoke my pipes. I haven't had many pipes on the video over the last year, but I hadn't forgot about my pipes. But I've been listening to the last week or so, last couple of weeks. They had the PCA Association event in Las Vegas, where some of you guys are going to be pretty soon going to a pipe show in Las Vegas. And, I've just been hearing the different reviews and the different things. And, the PCA has got its struggles like everything else with different organizations and associations. But boy, I tell you, the more that I have ventured with the cigars a little bit, it's amazing to see. I wish there was a couple of things that I wish they had that it seems like they don't have, like the pipe community. The cigar culture and the pipe culture, even though in one way the ramifications are cousins of how they're smoked. Um, but as far as we don't inhale, we don't, they're basically the same, smoke the same way in one way, even though we have our tobacco in our pipe bowls versus just a stick. But a couple of things that I've noticed listening to the PCA and watching things, the cigar industry seems like they don't have much for the consumer to attend. Now, granted, they have what they call these cigar fests, and they have, those kinds of things. I guess that's their equivalent to a pipe show. Um, but with the cigars, they have different. The PCA, I think I think it's a CRA, Cigar Rights of America, and some of these organizations, they're only for the manufacturers and the retailers to go to, and especially the big events. And I was watching some of them on YouTube that have the podcasts and they get into these shows. Because you've either got to be, I guess, a podcaster or a reviewer or a retailer to be able to go to some of these. It's not open to the consumer. So I got looking at that. I said, man, that would be nice, almost like a Chicago pipe show type thing once a year or something for the cigar, connoisseur and enthusiasts to go to. But I've noticed they don't have anything like that. Now, they have, like I said, the cigar fests, or I think Cigar Internationals is having one in October at their different locations in their stores. They used to have one a few years ago that they had a big event, but now they're doing it throughout their stores, and they're having different vendors and brands depending on what store you go to. I think it's a 3 or 4 day event, but I don't know if you have to pay to go to that. The one they had a few years ago, you did. Now here in Tidewater, we have once a year, I think it is. They'll have an event around the springtime over in Norfolk, Virginia. Um, but the problem with the cigar events is this: what little bit they have for the consumer, they're just so expensive to get in. We can go to a Richmond pipe show for what is it, $10 a person or whatever it is to get in the door, and you shop until you drop. Out there for a few days if you want to go. You get the Sutliff. You used to get the Sutliff. Tobacco tour, and you had all your vendors out there, artisans and everything, the ones that came. But boy, for the cigars, my goodness, man, 175, 275, $300 for one person to get into the event. And I mean, for me and Miss Bass Piper to go to some of these, we would have to drop $400 to $500 just to get in the gate. Now, of course, they will sit there and tell you, well, you get all this swag, you get these so many cigars, so many this, so many that. It pays for your food, it pays for your drinks, it pays. Well, that's all fine and good if you're a drinker. I don't need it. I would rather. I don't need all the swag. Let me pick out a couple of things. If I want a hat or if I want a cutter, how many cutters do you need and lighters and hats and backpacks and duffel bags? It's like, it's just they add all this stuff in there. But to me, bring the prices down. Even if they wanted to charge $25 a ticket to get in, instead of giving me 40 cigars, just give me 2 cigars and no swag, and I'll buy my own meal. Or if you want to throw a meal or a drink or something in for those who drink, that's fine. But by the time you get in the gate, you didn't bought probably 2 or 3 boxes worth of different cigars you may like to go purchase before you get. I mean, with cigar events, you'd have to come in starting with at least $1,000 to go into those things, and it's going to cost you 500 or 400 to 500 to get you and your missus in, and then that leaves you about 400 left to spend on whatever you got. Well, with cigars, as you all know, some of y'all, it don't take long with a cigar, especially when you're talking boxes. They don't give their cigars away, and the average box might be about $100 to $150 on up, $200 and $300 for a box. And where years ago you used to get a box of 25, now you're lucky if you get 10 in a box. So I just happened to think about that. I thought I'd just throw it out there today to have a video to do and just rant a little bit about that. I wish we could get the cigar culture and genre a little more blue collar. I mean, I know, the cigars used to be for the rich and famous, and it's a status symbol for success and luxury, and you've made it, and all this bunch of hoorah. Uh, but they still making cigars for the average guy out there, and we have some of our pipe artisans that can make pipes for the successful too. You'd have to be when you're dropping 2 and 3 grand on a pipe, with some of them. But the cigar industry just seems to be, it's just nothing much there for the average consumer, um, like we have with the pipe shows. And I wish they had something, or either would turn something around. Um, but it would be nice to be able to go to a couple of those and browse around and check out, and meet the different manufacturers, and go by and see the Newmans with J.C. Newman, the Ferrante family, the Padron family, and different ones, that you might try some of their cigars and pick up a stick here and there and just kind of, but unless there's something I'm missing, drop it in the ash hole. Maybe you say, Bass Piper, there's this one and this one and this one that maybe I don't know about them. But what I've seen so far in my journey with cigars and just kind of delving into different things, they don't have much. I know the show here in Norfolk, I think, is about $175 to $200 a head to get in. So my suggestion would be, hey, less swag and less mess, where I've got more money to go in and then buy what I want. And so, that's just a rant for today about cigars. I just wanted to share that in case some of y'all have never experienced it or been around cigars, to experience it, this is what you will find, at least what I have found. And they have their different events at these convention centers, but they seem they're more geared for the retail store. The retailers going to see what's coming out new next year from the manufacturers, and then they can go purchase what they want, or they get their orders in, for the next year, and they kind of guesstimate what they're going to need in their stores and all of that, and they probably give them discounts and all kinds of mess. But it's not for the consumer. The average Joe can't go into those shows and look around. So I just thought, well, man, that's kind of a bummer. They don't have anything much for and the ones that you can go in, you gotta drop. For some of us, a week or a 2 week paycheck just try to get in the door. So anyway, oh, and by the way, before I leave you guys, I just want to give you. I don't have an update on Joshua, the young man that broke his neck several weeks ago. Um, I do know they're starting, or they have a GoFundMe uh, on Facebook. I believe it is. You can find it on Facebook, or you can go on the GoFundMe. I want to say it. I, I'm not going to say. I'll look it back up and get back with you. I know a couple of y'all have inquired about, do they have a GoFundMe? They got a $25,000 GoFundMe, and I think they've raised over $15,000, at least last time I looked, for the Bennett family. And so anyway, I'll get the name of it, because I don't want to lead you astray and put you on a rabbit trail chase of where it's at. And I'll get back on here with that. Um, I do want to update you. In fact, before I forget, Johnny Onion, 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. Congratulations, buddy. I sent you one, but I want to shout it out. 3,000 subs, man. That's fantastic, Johnny. You deserve it, buddy. And, you're doing something right, man. You've got a good following, and you're a good guy. And I think that's helping you grow. And so, congratulations on your 3,000 subs, man. Well deserved. And I hope you get many, many more, and with your channel. But I do want to let you know, out of all the other stuff going on around here in the Tidewater area, my wife left Friday. Miss Bass Piper left Friday about 7:15 to go to work. And at 7:30, she called me and she said, "Wade, I've just been in an accident. I've had a guy T-bone me at the intersection about probably 10 miles from the house." Ooh, what a time! It took about 10 years off my life. I didn't know what to expect, but to make a long story short, with all of this, Miss Bass Piper's fine. The guy was distracted. He told me he was in a 2023 Chevrolet Z71 company truck out of California. This is a company, and by all, of all the companies he worked for, it was a safety company. So so he got distracted, either on the phone or whatever. And when her light turned green, and there's two lanes coming down one way and two lanes turning. She was one of the first. She was the first car in one of the lanes, and when she got in the middle, he was coming down the Hammerside lane in a 45, and looked up and saw her and T-boned the driver's side of her Honda. So now Bass Piper is all now tied up with the insurance companies, his insurance, because it was his fault. The main thing is Miss Bass Piper's okay. He was fine. I mean, the truck didn't. I didn't even see a ding on his truck. But our driver's side door, it didn't get tore up as bad as I thought. I mean, I was expecting it to be smashed in and but it is crinkled, and we could actually drive it. She drove it home. Everything was fine. It was enough damage to be aggravating. Basically, what we need is a new driver's door and a side view mirror. That's about it. Window didn't get busted, nothing. The only problem was the door got bent when it hit, and so the the rim around the top of the window in the corner is bent out a little bit, just enough where it lets air in, and she couldn't drive it because if it rains, it's not sealing all the way. She'll lock. Everything is fine on the door. Uh, like I said, it's just got dings where the fender. She said all I saw when I looked to see what hit me, there was a Chevrolet sign right in front of my face. The Chevrolet of the bumper, the name of it was sitting right there looking at her. So I thought, man, oh my gosh, I could have been burying my wife today. And it's like, man, thank the Lord. The angels and his protection was there. And the guy looked up in time. She said, there was no skid marks. I said, well, they're not going to be any with anti-lock brakes most of the time. That's going to stop you, and they don't skid. That's the whole purpose behind them. So she said, I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear no skidding. I didn't hear no squeal. I said, you won't. And anyway, his insurance has got to take care of it. So we got to try. Hopefully, they'll take care of it. We're just praying that they don't total the car because of the age and the miles of our Honda. Honda's doing fantastic. It's a 2010. Got probably about 278 on it in miles. But for a Honda, that's just getting broke in. I mean, it's been fantastic. All I need now is a door. I just need a door. But and a side view mirror. They knocked the front cap off of it, and my remote inside don't turn the mirror. It probably come unplugged on the impact because it took the mirror and popped it back because they're movable, and it popped it back the opposite way and probably pulled the plug out. But anyway, that was Base Piper's excitement for last Friday, this past Friday morning to start things off. And it's one of those where you can't get to your wife fast enough. And of course, you're trying to get there when I got the call, and every slow truck or trash truck or school bus was in the way at the path I had to go. And, but anyway, I was just glad that everything was not, it could have been a whole lot worse. It's just enough to be aggravating now that we got to go through all the hoorah with getting a rental car and trying to get the car fixed. And like we said, we hope they don't total it. Some people say, well, it could be a good thing, Base Piper, but in the other, here in Virginia, you got a lot of hoops because we could get it fixed, but they claim you got to go back to the DMV, get what they call a salvage title or a total title or something for your car, And then I guess the only way you can get rid of your car is take it to a junkyard. But it's pretty sad when you got a car that's doing fine. I was getting ready to take it yesterday to get the oil changed in it. And it's been doing fine, driving great. Just put new tires on it about, I don't know, 8 months ago. And all I need is I got a dinged in door. Had it not bent that the window part where it would seal when you close it, because I can press on it and close it, but it just pops back open. To keep the water from going in, I'd have drove around with a dent in the door. That'd been But but anyway, we got to get that tended to. So, but thank you guys again for your prayers for Josh Bennett, who's going through this with his paralyzation and stuff that he's going through. And I think I got to double check, that I think he might be off the ventilator. So that's a praise. And then they're going to be getting him to Richmond to do all the rehab for people that, are paralyzed and stuff, to kind of maybe see if they can get back some mobility to his limbs and things of that nature. And like I said, the grace of it all is that, and what he's got going for him is his youth. Being 23, hopefully he can bounce back with a few things if it's possible. But anyway, keep on praying. And those of y'all that pray, and I thank you so much for your prayers, and we thank the Lord for the safety of Miss Base Piper Friday as well. The paramedic that came out there, she said, "Well, normally when we're called to this intersection, it's not good." I go, "Well, yeah, that's all I needed to hear." But and usually it isn't, because when you're coming off the James River Bridge onto the Carrollton side, it's all 55, and you got one little short stint that's 45, and a lot of times most people don't slow down; they blow through that, and so we just thank the Lord that he saw it in time to break. And the man was very apologetic. He was very, I mean, he pulled over and ran over to check on Davia. And when I came on the scene, he come up to me and said, "Look, I'm sorry. It was my fault." He said, "I was distracted. It was all my fault, you know." He said, "I'm just disappointed because your wife told me it was her first accident ever, her big accident ever." He said, "I didn't want to have to be the first one." But I said, "Well, as long as everybody's okay, that's the main thing. We can fix metal and plastic, you know." So anyway, guys, we're going to get off of here. It's 21 minutes. But I just want to get on here and talk about a little about the cigar journey. And if any of y'all, like I said, know of any other events for cigar enthusiasts, that don't cost an arm and a leg. Here in Tidewater, we don't have a lot of brick and mortar. I mean, we got some Emersons, we got a Havana connection up in Williamsburg, but we really don't have. I mean, we got I think it's a Bond cigar. We got maybe two or three that's spread out, but that's about it. And they're usually smaller. I mean, it's nothing to ride home about. I mean, we don't have a Cigar International or a Thompson cigar or something like that, or even a combination cigar and pipe. And most of the cigars, they carry very little pipe and pipe tobacco, and they don't even push the pipe and pipe tobacco. It just kind of sits over there in the corner, and if anybody's interested, yeah, we got it. How many ounces of tobacco do you want? But it's 98% or 99% cigars and 1% pipe and pipe tobacco. So we don't have a tender box anymore that specializes in. The nice thing about the tender box, I know there's still a few left. I'm going to get off of here. That I did enjoy about that, and they got rid of the one around here, was that back in the day they did keep a good average. You had a humidor, they had cigars, but they had plenty of pipes, and it was like a good average of stuff, a balance. Not anymore. It's the cigars have taken over. I mean, and for lack of better words, the pipes and pipe tobacco is a fart in the wind when you go to these stores. And in fact, I think I told you when I was out of work several years ago, I had an opportunity of possibly going to work into a cigar store, slash pipe. But when I interviewed, I mean, the guy basically, I said, "I know a lot about pipes and pipe tobacco." I said, "But I am still learning about cigars." And I was asking him about the pipes. But I could tell the manager that interviewed me, he was just kind of shying away from it. We're going to spend no time over with that. Let's talk cigars. So that was the bulk of their money. But anyway, it's been 23 minutes of ranting and raving. So if any of you guys don't know of any other events or anything that you know of or associations for cigars, let me know. And but in case you didn't know anything about like I said, nothing wants to itch on Base Piper allergies till I start these videos. Let me know, and I'll check them out. But anyway, until we meet again, relax, have a pipe or a cigar, and don't forget the blessings God puts in our lives each and every day. So we'll talk with you guys later. Bye bye.